Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was the Teenage Exocolonist. We're here. We're at age 14 and I believe this is the last year before the Helios are going to show up. So we got to spend it wisely because as they arrive, we're going to have to spend a lot more time working on raising the friendships of the other three, especially Nomi Nomi and Rex. Anemone, we need to make sure we have high enough friendship for her so we can break her and base up. We're very busy, very, very busy. So let's just get started. I'm going to de-stress with Cal, but it looks like we got other stuff to do first. Almost everyone wants to talk to us, so let's just get started. Tangent looks up from her holopalm, blinking as her eyes refocus on a middle distance, and then on you. Her previously long hair is gone, buzzed close to her scalp. You almost didn't recognize her when you first saw her. You wonder if it was caused by a lab accident or something. "Hello, Yabby," she says, already cagey. "Did you need something?" No, I just came by to say hello." The faintest hint of relief passes across Tang's face. You get the impression that not pressing her on her personal appearance was a wise choice. "Oh, well, hello then," Tang replies. She raises her hand as if to push her hair out of her face, but stops when she realizes what she's doing. "I'm rather busy at the moment, actually, so if you don't mind, you can take a hint." I get it. But I do have this for you. And then now I'll leave you alone. "What about you, Cal?" You spot Cal heading towards the barns at the edge of the farms. "Hiya, Yabby," he waves. "What's going on?" "Oh, nothing," Cal sighs. "Just thinking about, well," he trails off. Scuffs his foot in the dirt. "I guess it's not like you can get me in trouble now, so yeah, I used to have a pet. She was like a little pink caterpillar. I called her Socks. She lived in the trunk up in the storage barn. Nobody knew." He scrubs at the back of his arm over his face. "But she didn't stay little forever. Eventually she got big, like real big, and I couldn't figure out what to feed her, and she ran away." Cal sighs and looks wistfully up at the sky. "I just hope she's doing okay now, wherever she is. Oh, we missed Socks. That sucks, but it's okay. I'm gonna give you the cake so I can get my delicious upgrade." I thought we were gonna get to Socks, but I guess I was moving too slow when it came to Cal. I'm a little sad about that, but what's done is done. Anemone! You spot Nemi halfway up the garrison watchtower, her legs wrapped around the scaffolding as she cranes to look over the fence through a pair of holoculars. You clear your throat and she peers down at you and waves. "Yabby, come here! I want to ask you something!" You clamber easily up the scaffolding. Nemi gives you a high five. "Here, look through these," Nemi says, shoving the holoculars into your hands. You raise them to your eyes and look where she's pointing. A long ways out, much farther than the expeditions are going, you spot a dark humanoid shape moving through the towering fungal forest. "See him?" Nemi asks. "It's Dees! I swear it is! He's always sneaking out over the walls! He's not supposed to do that!" "Right?" Nemi exclaims. "He's gonna get in trouble!" "Yeah, him! He's the only one doing it. I'm not doing it. Nuh-uh." "The adults say we're not supposed to go outside the colony unless it's on an expedition," Nemi says, taking the holoculars back and looping them around her neck. "And Dees just goes whenever he wants. What if he gets hurt? What if he dies?" She wrinkles her nose. "What if he picks up the weird alien disease and comes back with 3 heads? Nemi scratches her cheek, where acne's made her skin dry and sore-looking. "Ow," she mutters, as bits flake off. "I just don't know what to do about it," she says. "What do you think?" "You should tell an adult." Nemi frowns thoughtfully. "Yeah, I guess. It's probably the right thing to do, but I don't want him to be mad at me, but I also want him to be safe." She exhales noisily. "Ugh! Why is protecting everyone so hard?" "The colony's got rules for a reason," Nemi says, staring off into the wilderness. "If we do our own thing and don't care about the rules, we're all gonna be toast. Kinda like a sports ball team. We're all doing different stuff, but we gotta play by the same rules so we can get as many points as we can." "Anemone! Yabby!" You look down at the ground where a passing colonist is waving up at you. "You two get down from there. It's not safe." "Okay, sorry, I'm on watch," Nemi shouts back, indicating her holoculars. She shoots you a smile. "I guess we should get inside the watchtower, huh?" You both climb up the rest of the way to the guard platform. Nemi heaves herself over the edge and reaches down to help you up. And you notice that her hands are all banged up and scabbing over with blue scales, probably from scampering all over the place the way she does. She notices you looking and laughs awkwardly. She runs her hand through her fluffy hair. Maybe if I get beat up enough, I'll have so many skills I won't have no more acne, she jokes. Ugh, acne, I remember the days. I still get it sometimes, which is annoying, but what can you do? Alright, Dees, what's up? You catch Dees on a ridge overlooking the wilderness, bobbing his head along to something playing through his hearspeak. He doesn't notice you walk up. He jumps when you tap him on the shoulder and scrambles to turn off his hollow palm. Don't sneak up on me like that, he grumbles, then flops backward on the grass to look up at you. Man, I was just getting to the good part of the song. What are you listening to? Dees looks away. Just some old music from Earth. You probably wouldn't like it. Try me. You sit down beside Dees and extend your hand to link your hollow palms. Dees stares at you for a few seconds before pressing his palm to yours. The music floods your brain through your hearspeak. Dees takes his hand and weaves his fingers together, timid. I listen to a lot of Earth music, he says. Do you like it? He asks. I love this band. Dees cracks a smile, relieved. Good, he says. It's my favorite right now. I always listen to the same album on repeat. It's comfort music. I really like her voice. He stares into his lap. Sometimes I feel like the lyrics are about me, he admits. They're just so deep. Like my soul really gets this kind of music. But don't tell anyone, okay? It makes me feel better, thinking that someone knows my pain, even if it's just a dead Earth woman. Sounds deep, man. Dees nods and closes his eyes. Yeah, he replies. I have a lot of time to think. Not like everyone else here. You lie back on the grass and listen to Dees's music for a while. Hold his hand. You reach out and tentatively just link your pinky fingers with Dees, feeling him tense up beside you. He darts you a nervous glance, then looks back up at the sky where he sees you looking back at him. His cheeks go completely red. He doesn't hold your hand, but he doesn't move away either. Aww. I love that song, genuinely. So we're already doing pretty good on relationship statuses. Everyone's already almost up to 50, which is good. But let's see, who is the lowest? It looks like it is Tammy. So let's take care of Tammy. Let's do some more cooking. Tammy tries to concoct a cake using black tea as flavoring. She says that people on Earth used to make cakes using bitter coffee, but you're not sure. It turns out okay. You don't think you'd try if Tammy didn't ask. The adults are delighted to have a little snack to drink with their tea in the mornings. Ooh. The music! It's your birthday! You wake up from a night of blissfully peaceful dreams. No nightmares, no premonitions, just a pleasant feeling of contentment. You stretch your arms over your head, blinking in the quiet, watery sunlight that seeps through the porthole window. Things are always changing on Vertumna, but you can't help but feel like things are changing for yourself, too. Not just your body, but your mind, your emotions, your future. 14 is going to be your year. Your parents have been working around the clock since the last attack, trying to get the fields right again in time for this year's planting. Spark snow has already started falling, and every day they come home complaining about having to clear it. They ask you to ping them when you're awake so you can share a birthday breakfast in your quarters instead of sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else during breakfast service in the canteen. You fire them a message and lie back in your bunk, watching dust motes float lazily in the light. After a minute, there's a knock on the door. It's Antecedent! She sweeps into your room in a bustle of skirts and shawls and sits down beside you on your bunk. Oh, look at you, she says. Happy birthday, beautiful. 14 years old. She leans in and gives you a motherly kiss on the forehead. It's been years since she took care of you in the children's creche, but all the kids still call her Auntie and think of her as a close relative. Her sweet baking bread smell is as comforting as it ever was. She sits back and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Yabby, ever since I held you in my arms as a baby, I knew you were so special, so important. You're becoming a young adult, but I always want you to know I will always, always be here for you, just like your mom and dad, she says firmly. Okay. Thanks, Antecedent. She smiles and tucks an unruly lock of your hair behind your ear. I guess you're old enough to call me Auntie Anne now, if you like, or even just Anne. Now come on in here, Aunt Anne says, spreading her arms wide. Give us a great big hug. You hug her, enveloping yourself in the warm and familiar softness of her. Over her shoulder, you see Nemi standing in the doorway. Well, her hair anyway. She's been growing it out, and there's no hiding it behind a corner. She skips into your quarters. "Happy birthday, bud," she says, bouncing on your bunk. "Way to get older. Enjoy being 2 years older than me for a few months. Thanks." "I thought you were on your way to the med bay," Anne tells her, and Nemi shrugs. Anne turns to you. "Annie is supposed to get her menstruation cessation implant today," she says. "Mom!" Nemi hollers. "Gross! Yappy doesn't want to hear about my period." Anne smiles fondly at her daughter. "It's nothing to be ashamed of, Annie. Getting your period is a beautiful thing. It reminds us that we have the ability to make life. It's a sign you're growing up and becoming an adult, and ready to take on the responsibility of taking care of that life." Nemi wrinkles her nose and throws herself on your bed. "I'm never making life. Ew, pass. Ew, gross Rooney." "Right?" Nemi agrees. "She's always like this. You think this is bad? When I got my period, she made me a cake with a red gooey center that said, 'Welcome to wombunhood.' Oh, God." She rolls her eyes. "It's bad enough I, shot up overnight and got boobs and want to cry all the time. She has to go around telling everyone, too." Your parents finally arrive, still damp from fields and bringing in the smell of crisp, tangy snow on their clothes. "Oh, look, birthday visitors," your dad exclaims. "Anne, are you staying for breakfast?" Anne reaches into her bag and brings out a stack of tiffins. "No, thank you, but I brought your order with me from the kitchen, seeing as I was stopping by." She pats your hand one more time. "Happy birthday again, Yabby. You'll always be my baby, even when you're all grown up. Aw, Auntie." Your mom shakes her head as Anne and Nemi leave. "Oh, Anne," she laughs, sentimental to the core. She starts laying out cutlery for breakfast. "But I don't know how the colony would manage without her. And the children's crush," she says, and points a fork at you. "Family is more important than people that birthed you, Yabby, and don't you forget it." "I won't." Ooh, another cake! Tammy beams when she sees you, like there's nothing better in the world than the sight of your face. "Give me the cake! Give me the cake! I will share it." Let us, relax, because we need to. We'll relax with Tammy. Get more friendship for her. Lots of kids treat the lounge as an informal study hall, especially Tangent. And Mars, too, sometimes, if she's trying to impress Tangent. You crack open a textbook on your holopalm and read about some old, dead Earth poets. Just because you're not in class doesn't mean you can't read ahead a little bit. There we go. We needed that. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, no. You're getting ready to leave your quarters one day when you're stopped by your mom, who hasn't left her work yet. She's always been an early riser, out in the fields before first sunrise. That she specifically stayed home to talk to you is a bad sign. "Sit down, Yabby," she says. "We have to talk." Okay. You sit down across from your mother. She stares at you down, just looking right into your soul, like she's counting up every bad thing you've ever done. "I don't think you appreciate how much I know about you," she says finally. "With the amount of freedom you kids have, you forget that you're being watched. I don't like what I'm seeing. And your attitude," she spits, "is absolutely atrocious. I know you're a teenager and you're supposed to push boundaries, but this is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. No, you're ridiculous!" She bangs her fist on the table for emphasis. "This isn't some Holovit high school drama, Yabby. This is real life. This is life or death. Do you get what I'm saying? We're the only humans here. If we don't fight for our survival with everything we have, no one is coming to save us. You have to learn how to fit in," she says quieter. "You're a part of a community, a larger community, an ecosystem. You're supposed to be learning that, but you're running out of time. Soon you'll be an adult. People will need to rely on you." "I'm sorry, Mom." Your mom nods, her face tight. "I'm just trying to give you the best start in life," she says. "When I was just a little older than you are now, I was fighting a war against the people of Earth. First they ignored us, then they mocked us, and then they attacked us." She pats her prosthetic leg. "And then we won, all so we could give you a chance to grow up here. I don't want you to waste it." Your mom reaches out and pats your hand patronizingly. "I remember being your age, full of anger, ready to fight anyone who told me what to do. I wish someone had told me I deserved better. I wish..." She shakes her head. "You can do better than this, Yabby," she says solemnly. "You just have to apply yourself and listen to your elders. This colony needs you to be a part of it. It's why you were born." For a literal rebel fighter, your mom has a strange relationship with authority. You'd think she'd understand what it means to want freedom above all else. She's such a hypocrite. You're sick of people telling you what to do, thinking they know what's best for you. They don't know what it's like to grow up on an alien planet. They don't know what it's like to have all these weird thoughts and dreams. They don't. She says she knows, but she doesn't understand. We have seen a lot of things. I know she means well, but still, there's a lot going on in this little brain of ours. Alright, we're gonna go out and talk to Sim. Oh. Ooh, Utopia's sorting through the stuff the foragers have brought back, putting them into bins to either get analyzed or taken straight to the kitchens. Hey, sweets, she says, not even looking up. You headed out? You and Deese take care of each other out there, okay? She sighs. I gotta get through all this before day's end, she says. It'll take me all day. Unless you're here to help out? Sure. Utopia lays out an assortment of mushrooms. Alright, here's a simple one. Which one of these fellas is poisonous? I'll pick the right ones. Mushrooms? You know this. You know what kind of mushrooms are served in the canteen, and it's easy to pick them out of the assortment. Great work, sweets, Utopia exclaims, a big smile on her face. You're a regular pig. Don't worry, that's a compliment. On Earth they used to use pigs to sniff out buried mushrooms. Go out there and dig us up some, why don't you? Finishing up what you're doing on the survey team, but come back next month and I'll put you with the foragers, she says. You'll be in the Valley of Vertigo. It's one of the best places to forage for wild berries and other edibles. I will. I gotta talk to my alien boyfriend first. You stop to watch a herd of shaggy, purple-furred animals slowly meander down a slope. You've never seen them before. Study! The creature's fur is like grass, so they must be some kind of photosynths, an animal that gets part of their energy from the sun. They couldn't be aborescent photosynths, bushbubs, because they've got branches growing out of their heads and backs. You check your survey journal. It says bushbubs are common here, but they're smaller, solitary creatures, so nope. And they're too small to be balneal photosynths, so who don't usually leave the water. You've found a new species! Maybe! That would be cool. You decide to name them, just in case. You look at them through your holoculars at maximum zoom. You can kind of make out that they have a super long jaws, like a huge underbite. You name them... Herding Sunbiters. Naming things is hard, so Herding Sunbiters will have to do. You log your discovery. Ooh! Nice. I genuinely thought about naming them, Shut Up Mom, or something like that, because our character is upset at our mom right now, but I decided that would be mean. The animals don't deserve to be named after, by an angsty teenager. Bushbubs blocking the path, lumbering slowly back and forth between a dense strand of gloop mushes, or whatever those plants are called, and a wide circular lake, like it's on some kind of patrol. It growls a warning when you try to squeeze past it, so you back off. From the look in its eyes, this one isn't letting you through easy. I gotta get through, I need to meet my alien boyfriend. See? Even the game knows. You sneak through the gloop bushes, crawling under them so the bushbub doesn't see you. You nearly get stuck at one point and wonder, what if Deese has come to rescue you? That would be embarrassing. You find a route through and continue on your way. Yeah, I'm not down for the damsel in distress kind of situation. Oh, Deese is over here too. Hang on, Deese, 1 second. I gotta talk to Sim. Look at them. Both on the same screen. Both our boyfriends. You're sitting on the hilltop eating a sandwich when Sim strolls casually out of the jungle, the bushes barely stirring as he brushes past. He sits down close to you, crossing his elegant legs beneath him on the bare ground. He watches you intently, without saying a word. Hello, Sim! He looks like he's choosing his words carefully, considering what to say. Finally, he replies simply, Hello, Yabby. He nods towards your lunch. Good lunch? You want some? He takes a piece of thanks and tries it, chewing thoughtfully and quietly. He replies, his face neutral. What is in it? Zucchini. It's a vegetable from Earth. You explain that zucchini is boring, but about the only thing that grows well here, and the bread is made of grain that's grown in geophonics, which is fed through a grinder to make flour, and then mixed with yeast and salt and baked in an oven. Sim is riveted. What else? There's mayonnaise? Sim mouths the word mayonnaise silently. What is that made of? Biology 21. Damn it. I don't have any cards that could get me there, huh? Nope, I don't have anything for biology. Alright, we're just gonna have to be stupid. It just comes out of the machine? You shrug and tell Sim that you don't really know. Soy, probably? Some kind of oil? Sim nods thoughtfully. And why 2 pieces of bread instead of 1? Why does the bread go on the outside? Wait, that's because... Wait, why do you care? It's just that you humans are so fascinating, Sim blurts out. He blinks and straightens his shoulders. It's just that my people conceptualize time on quite a different scale than humans do, so we're rather boring. Or, no, predictable is more the correct word. It lends itself to a lesser degree of chaos. He smiles. Humans, though, now you are a rather chaotic species, aren't you? In only one short generation, you completely reinvented your society to adjust life on another planet. Novelty is something of a, well, novelty in a stable system such as this. He picks at the frayed hem of his clothing. Why, even this is new. I have no need to cover my body for protection, and certainly feel no social or moral obligation to. Sim extends his arm, preening. How did I do? Do you have anything that needs covering? Sim blinks rapidly and smiles. Well, that is an interesting phrasing. Regardless of what is under my clothing, the phrasing of your question implies that I would feel a need to cover it, and the answer to that question is no. I do not feel I need to cover anything with my body. He folds his hand on his lap, and the answer to that question is no. I do not feel I need to cover anything on my body. He folds his hand in his lap. Perhaps it is not the answer you crave, but it is the one you deserve for the time being. You have a million questions for Sim. How does he speak your language? Where did he get those clothes? How did he know your name? Sim only holds up his hand with a wistful smile. I would answer your questions if I could. I'm afraid, however, that is simply not the time. What is your earth saying? The trees have ears? He rises to his feet, not bothering to dust himself off. I like the feel of those words in my mouth. Your language is so beautifully complex. You watch Sim walk down the hill and disappear into the trees, as if he had never been here at all. Not even the grass is bent in the place he sat. You're so cool. I need perception 80 for that. Oh, we're so close. I'll come back and do that. Dees! Hey, Abby. Dees greets you cautiously as you pass on the narrow path. Hey, do you want me to show you something? Dees almost never makes overtures of friendship. Whatever it is, it must be pretty cool. Yes, you always find the coolest stuff! You follow him for nearly half an hour. A couple of times he stops to listen for something, then continues onward, tromping through the fields of broad-topped mush trees and swaying antler ferns. After a while, you start to wonder if he's just lost. You're about to say something about it when he holds his hand up for silence and directs you to crawl under a huge mushroom. On the other side, you have a view down to one of the perfectly round ponds. Taking up most of it is an enormous xeno, its legs deep underwater. It's a balneal, Dees tells you. They live in the swamps. You usually don't see them here. This one seems totally at home. It dips its long neck and even longer mouth into the pond, sucking up water from the bottom and spewing it out of the spout on the back of its head. The spray of beautiful turquoise water sparkles in the sun. Tiny, colorful bird-like creatures dart around it, catching the tiny fish that come spraying out. Sit and watch quietly. You enjoy the pretty scene together. He does always find the coolest stuff, doesn't he? Speaking of cool stuff, I'm gonna meditate, because we're gonna need it. Oh, we're at perception 80. Ha ha ha! Take an even closer look at Sim. This time you'll catch Sim doing something weird and alien. You send a survey drone to follow him and watch through your holopalm as he heads into the forest. He comes to a still pond and crouches by it, staring intently into the water. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he snatches an eel from the depths and bites its head clean off. Then he looks up at the drone and gives you a jaunty wave, as if he knew it was there all along. Wait, does Sim usually eat raw living animals, or was he just doing that because he knew you were trying to catch him doing something weird? Honestly, it could be either one. He'd totally do that. One of your jobs as a surveyor is to document the flora and fauna through photographs. You see a thing, a skittish flock of really long insects. Each one has 10 to 20 sets of wings, with long like rods with knobbly bits at regular points. They're moving so fast they're almost a blur. You've got a camera built into your holopalm, but it's not equipped to capture difficult shots like this. You'll need to put in the work. Find a good angle or try and get close. Let's raise our animals a little bit. No, good angle. High perception will be very useful. It's already been, but you know, it could be even more useful. Nice. You climb up the tree and get a good angle from above, not disturbing your subject. It comes out great, very avant-garde. Utopia's glad for the shot. Alright, let's head back, because we want to at least get to dust. So, boop. Alright, who needs friendship? Alright. I can give you a cake. I have 2, so we'll save the other one for a rainy day. And this will get your friendship up nice and high. Oh, and we can talk to you. Cal waves as you enter the garden, leaning on his shovel. Hey, Abby, he calls, but his eyes look past you, down to the path where Anemone is beating the absolute tar out of a training dummy. Her fierce battle cries echo across the colony, making Cal wince. She's been going totally hard lately, huh? He says. He scratches his face, smearing dirt across his cheek. She asked me yesterday if I wanted to spar with her. She said it would be good for self-defense. Cal smiles sadly at the memory. I told her I don't want to fight. Not her, not a training dummy, and not anything on this planet. For real. I've never seen her get so mad at me. She called me a baby and told me I'm just going to end up forcing everyone to protect me, or because I'm weak or helpless or whatever. He seems upset and stabs the ground a few times with his shovel. I just don't think it's right to fight anyone, especially the Xenos. They were here first, he says. What do you think, Yabby? Violence is never the answer. Cal looks relieved. I'm glad you think so too, he says. Everyone's always telling me to see both sides of the argument, like they think that just because I'm young I haven't made up my mind yet. He shrugs. I just think if you have to hurt someone to get what you need, you don't deserve to have it. His eyes go back to Anemone. She stopped sparring with the training dummy and is now looking up at the gardens as they have a drink. Neither she nor Cal wave at each other. Cal clenches his fist. There's gotta be a way to figure out how to live in peace with all the cool things that live on this planet, he says. Like, hey, look at this weed I saw growing over here. Cal has such strong convictions. It's one of the things you like best about him, even if some people disagree with them. You spend a few hours with Cal in the gardens as he shows off the area he's getting ready for the next planting season. The adults are really starting to trust him with more planting as he gets older, and he beams with pride. When you finally head out, you're just as dirty as he is, but you feel so much lighter. Alright, let's give you this. Whoop! You spot Tangent leaning against the wall outside of engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes and staring off into space. She startles as you walk up. Oh, Yabby, I was just taking a short break. Who are you? Did you stay up all night too? She asks. I don't even... Oh god, now I'm really yawning. I don't even remember when I slept last night. It must have been a few days ago. You haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3, she replies, then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. But as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. You look at her quizzically. I don't need to sleep as much as other people. It's a genetic... what's it? She says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes even I forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hollow. Add to schedule. Sleeping nightly, 2300 for 3 hours. Her holopalm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she murmurs. Her eyes are practically closed. Find her some place to take a nap. Tangent follows you obediently to the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into the medbay and grab a blanket and pillow off the shelf. By the time you return, Tang's already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. You gently place the blanket over her, and she hums happily before going slack with much-needed sleep. I'm not enabling you this time. You will get sleep. Alright. You two... I should probably do stuff with Mars, but I can do that next month. I think I'm gonna spam through some engineering, because we need to get to 50 if we want to be able to do robotics, and robotics will get us friendship with Nemi. Or, not Nemi, Nomi. There's too many N names right now. Let's see. So I'm gonna put this on. And... let's do some engineering. You notice, Oh, this is for, tutoring. I'm gonna focus on my studies. You can't very well teach others until you learn the material yourself. Exactly. We can't tutor right now. We're busy. 5. Yeah. I'll still do quick walk-arounds just to double-check on everybody, but we're probably not going to worry about it. Oh, I should check on food. Colony security rating is red, but the food supply is excellent. So we don't have to worry about that. We can focus on this stuff. And since our mom isn't going to die horrifically, that means we have a few extra months to actually do things. So we can wait. Oh, now I can apply to be a tutor. We'll worry about it later. To further your engineering knowledge, you're taking a mini-class with Chief Engineer Instance on the construction and maintenance of your holopalms. These devices are engineered bismuth crystals embedded into your palms when you start school. They use the heat and electric current of the human body to power themselves, to talk to each other, and connect to the HoloNet. Congruence's massive repository of information. You barely remember life before yours. Holopalms were commonplace by the time the Vertumna group first formed on Earth, and the square bismuth is grown in the lab, Instance explains, so the physical device itself isn't hard to maintain. The difficulty is in the display and touch interface. Instance opens her holopalm, displaying a visible projected screen floating above her palm. As chief engineer, she also has one of the fancier versions that combines a pair of eyeglasses to superimpose a projection right onto what she sees. The interface relies on plasma voxel generators, which require extremely small components that are impossible to nanoprint. The material will have to be mined from Vertumna itself. Tang raises her hand. Is it possible to hack these devices? She asks. If the biological-electronical interface is so thin, is it possible to hack the human body? In a way, we've already begun to hack the human body, Instance replies. What do you call gene tech? Everything the body does and is capable of depends on 4 nucleobases in different configurations. It's no different than congruence. Human and artificial intelligence are both built from a limited code, and these are transformed into more by the building. Your genetic enhancements, super hearing and sight, temperature regulation, increased resistance to fear, disease, and fatigue, all present in the human genome and unlocked by the power of science. The class splits into working groups to explore installing modules into your holopalm. You and Tangent are in a group together. She begins installing a mod that will let her scan inorganic materials and get a reading of their chemical compositions. What do? I'm gonna download my own mod. Tang raises her eyebrow, impressed. What module do you choose? Something to help blast objects, a bacteria sniffing sensor, a radar speed gun, or a nanogram puzzle game. Nanogram puzzle game. You install the portion of Congruence's immense archives that gives you access to playing a nanogram puzzle. Little pictures to draw by filling in the squares of a grid based on number logic. It doesn't take much time and you pass the rest of the class noodling around on your holopalm. Oh yeah. Because I believe robotics unlocks at 15, so we just need to get there before that. Oh, wait. Yes! Let me see. 9, 3, 5, 4. Ooh, extra card draw. Nice. Oh, oh, +1 to mental cards, too. Alright, one more round of engineering. Just because the sooner we get it done, the sooner we can do it. Uh-oh, you should have known better, Tangent. You hear as you walk past the laboratory. Curious, you listen at the door. Chief Engineer Instance sighs. I know you meant well, but your presumption has cost us 3 months of work. You can't simply look at an experiment and change the parameters to your liking. Getting results is not the same as doing good science. Your findings, however scientifically interesting, are useless to us without sound methodical underpinnings. Tangent's response is more subdued than you've ever heard her before. I'm sorry, Chief Engineer, she mumbles, looking down at the floor. I recognize the error of my ways. I should hope so, Instance replies, pinching the bridge of her nose in her fingers. I'll expect you in the lab first thing tomorrow morning, and I will personally supervise your work in resetting the experiment. You flatten against the wall as Instance breezes past you, barely giving you a second look as she strides down to the hallway. You poke your head inside the laboratory where Tang scowls and wipes her eyes. What do you want? It'll be better the second time around. Tang nods. You're right. The first experiment was plagued by inefficiencies, she says, pushing herself off the lab bench. That's why I changed it in the first place. In the new experiment, I can eliminate those inefficiencies from the start. Thank you, Yabi. You may have saved me 3 months of work. Losing the data was my fault, Tang continues. I wanted to prove I'm not the little kid from biology class, that I'm ready to work hard and really make great discoveries. Dr. Instance has always been there for me, when I was a kid, and now, with my mother gone. She's the only adult in this colony who sees what I could become, she says. She believes that I can be better than what I am. It's always been that way. I really want to impress her. Don't push yourself too hard. There's no such thing, Tangent replies. The human body has limits, and I intend to find them. And what lies beyond? That's death, Tangent. That is death. Nice. Alright. We're probably going to be focusing mainly on Mars and, engineering next time, and we're also going to have to go out and talk to Sim again. We gotta make sure to raise that stuff fast with him. But until then, thank you guys for watching, Flower. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, spy on your alien boyfriends, and have a good day.